customary international law, the two cannot generally block passage or charge tolls.
Amid this, Mike Waltz, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, warned Iran that President Trump's patience isn't going to last forever, talking about Iran's nuclear program.
Well, the president's patience isn't going to last forever. Discussions are ongoing, particularly at a technical level of how to get inspectors in, the down blending and the other pieces that are focused on ensuring Iran never has a nuclear weapon. But they need to understand their leverage is diminishing by the day. The Gulf Arabs are creating all kinds of alternatives to the Straits of Hormuz.
Peace between Israel and Lebanon, it remains elusive. Hezbollah has said that it reserves the right to respond as the Israeli military continues attacks on southern Lebanon.
And Lebanon's state-run national news agency have reported multiple explosions, including in the southern city of Nabatea. In one of the strikes, Israel said it destroyed an extensive tunnel network in the area. In a joint statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz said that the tunnel stretching more than 200 meters and reaching a depth of over 25 meters was used by Hezbollah and contained hundreds of weapons as well as several launch shafts, allegedly intended to target the state of Israel and its civilians.
Now, the developments come despite a U.S. brokered framework agreement between Israel and Lebanon aimed at reducing tensions, advancing stability along the border and addressing the issue of Hezbollah's armed presence in southern Lebanon. The statement by Netanyahu and Katz claimed that Israel had informed the U.S. and its representatives in Lebanon in advance before the destruction of the infrastructure.
Hezbollah has responded. The Iran-backed group called the attacks a blatant violation of the ceasefire, adding that it is monitoring and tracking these violations and reserves its rights to defend its homeland and people.
Meanwhile, Nabi Berri, the Lebanese parliament speaker, who is known to be a Hezbollah ally, said that the trilateral framework agreement would not pass as it did not guarantee Lebanon's rights.
In a rebuke to Turkey, the Israeli government has formally recognized the Armenian genocide more than a century after the mass killings that took place during the final years of the Ottoman Empire.
Now, the resolution proposed by Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar describes the move as a moral and historical obligation. Sa'ar, on social media, thanked the Israeli Prime Minister and his government for unanimous approval of the resolution.
The Armenian genocide resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1.5 million Armenians between 1915 and 1923. Israel for decades has formally refrained from recognizing the genocide due to the diplomatic sensitivities with Turkey. Ankara, on the other hand, rejects the genocide label and disputes that the wartime deaths constituted a planned campaign of extermination.
No matter what position you hold,
Israel now joins 32 United Nations member states, including the US, Canada, Germany and Russia, in formally recognizing the Armenian genocide. The Israeli government's vote comes as the relationship between two of the region's main powers, which was once robust, has increasingly soured in recent years.
The turning point was Israel's war on Gaza, which has killed more than 73,000 Palestinians and was sparked after Hamas launched a terror attack on Israeli civilians on 7th of October 2023. Turkey, including President Recep Tayyip Erdogan himself, has long accused Israel of genocide in Gaza, which Israel has denied.
And before the vote on the next, Turkey's vice president described Israel's resolution as an attempt to cover up their own crimes. But Sa'ar claimed that the vote is not an act of retaliation for the open hostility. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to ensure that Russia's security and He has vowed to ensure Russia's security and protect Russia's borders as Ukraine intensifies retaliatory strikes inside Russia.
Now, his remarks come amid escalating attacks on Russia's oil refineries and critical infrastructure. Speaking at the United Russia Party Congress, Vladimir Putin acknowledged the challenges posed by Ukrainian drone and missile attacks, but insisted that Russia would overcome them.
We will definitely ensure the security of the country and our citizens, the inviolability of Russia's borders for a long historical perspective.
Putin's comments come after a Ukrainian drone strike on the Tuapse oil refinery in Russia's Krasnodar region that sparked a massive fire and reportedly even killed one person. Claiming responsibility, Ukrainian President Zelensky has said that the strike was part of operations aimed at weakening Russia's ability to wage war.
Now, Ukraine has also targeted refineries in Yaroslav and near Moscow, causing widespread disruption in Crimea. Authorities declared an emergency situation as fuel shortages and power cuts deepen following repeated strikes on logistics chains and oil facilities.
In a separate interview, Putin admitted that repeated attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure created a certain shortage of fuel, but insisted the situation was not critical.
Of course, these strikes on our infrastructure facilities are causing problems. That's obvious. We are currently seeing a certain shortage, but it is not critical.
He dismissed Ukraine's latest proposals for halting long-range strikes and limiting combat to 4 regions, saying Russia would not negotiate from a weaker position.
Another proposal is to limit combat to 4 territories, meaning to conduct military operations only in Kherson region, Zaporizhzhia region, the Donetsk People's Republic, and the Luhansk People's Republic, while ceasing combat in all other areas. In conditions of a catastrophic personnel shortage, Ukraine's armed forces apparently believe this could be a salvage for them. But salvaging the Kiev regime is not part of our plans.
And Putin said that he expects US negotiators to return to Moscow once Washington concludes talks with Iran, referring to the so-called spirit of Anchorage discussions with the US in 2025. Putin noted compromises were considered, but no formal agreements were reached. He even adds that Russia remains ready to continue discussions with the US on Ukraine and other issues.
Once all the developments in the active phase on the Iran track are over, we expect to welcome the representatives of the US administration with whom we have already met repeatedly in Moscow. We are ready to continue negotiations and discuss all the details, all the modalities, if not of agreements, then of the topics discussed in Anchorage.
The 13 have been injured after a magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck Guangxian County in southwest China's Sichuan province.
The quake was at a depth of 10 kilometers. Residents in Gaoshan County and neighboring Gaoshan County reported strong tremors, with furniture visibly displaced indoors. Tremors felt in Yibin and Chengdu, the capital city of Sichuan.
Local authorities are assessing the impact of the earthquake while roads remain fully functional and no building collapses or trapped individuals had been found.
The China Earthquake Administration has initiated a Level 3 emergency response. China has a 4-tier emergency response system, with Level 1 being the most severe response. And days after the powerful twin earthquakes rocked Venezuela, time is fast running out to find the survivors.
Well, so far at least 1,450 people have been killed, while thousands are still reported missing. Foreign rescue teams have reached Venezuela and are racing against time to search for survivors. Well, so far at least 33 people have been rescued. Well, on Sunday, a father and son were pulled out alive from under the rubble of a collapsed building.
And separately, members of the Mexican Army's humanitarian mission rescued a 9-year-old boy alive from the rubble of a collapsed building in La Guara. Rescuers located him using voice detection techniques and carried out 6 hours of rescue operations.
¿Cómo estás tú?
Now, in another miraculous rescue, Colombian rescuers saved the life of an 11-year-old child who had been trapped beneath the rubble. The rescuers managed to reach the child, who was 3 meters underground, and pulled him out to safety.
Cuando vayas a bajar, te vas a quedar con los ojos cerrados.
¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cuál es el nombre del estado? Tranquila, mamita. ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
La ambulancia César.
According to the National Assembly President, Jorge Rodriguez, 774 buildings were badly damaged in back-to-back quakes of magnitude 7.2 and 7.5, including 189 buildings that have completely collapsed.
A video that you see on your screens was shared by a U.S. rescue team that shows the extent of devastation in La Guaira, one of the areas hardest hit by the twin earthquakes. Rescuers say that crews were continuing search and rescue operations around the clock in coordination with local first responders and international teams.
And incidents of theft and looting have made the tragedy even worse. Videos circulating on social media show people ransacking supermarkets, pharmacies and other businesses. Some have even been siphoning fuel from cars. Others are impersonating firefighters to take advantage of this disaster.
Meanwhile, U.S. military personnel are helping to expand airport capacity and reopen a key seaport to support relief efforts. According to a statement by the Southern Command, about 130 mariners will arrive at the hard-hit port of La Guaira within the next 24 hours to help open the port for much-needed supplies and equipment to reach the heaviest hit parts of Venezuela by sea. Now, a routine skydiving trip turned into a tragedy in eastern France.
11 people were killed after their aircraft crashed moments after taking off. The deadly crash happened in the town of Tourcoing, near the city of Nancy in eastern France. All 11 people on board died in this crash. The victims included the pilot, 5 experienced skydiving instructors and 5 trainee parachutists.
You could see straight away that there were some bodies in one place, other bodies in other places. We immediately saw that they were all dead, above all. Nothing was moving, and it was clear that the impact had been too violent for there to be any survivors.
Now, the aircraft registered in Germany plunged to the ground in a grassy area near the runway of a regional airfield in France's Tourcoing. The aircraft crashed near the residential area. It missed nearby homes by only a few meters, preventing an even larger disaster.
The trainees were a group of nurses who had decided to try skydiving together. Their families had gathered at the airfield to film their first tandem jump. Instead, they witnessed the aircraft plunge to the ground.
According to French Aviation Safety Agency, it is the deadliest general aviation accident in the country, excluding military and commercial air disasters.
Now, the cause of the crash remains unknown. Forensic teams have begun examining the wreckage, while aviation safety experts have launched a technical investigation to determine what caused the aircraft to lose control so soon after takeoff. Another major tragedy in a different part of the world this time. It has unfolded along Saudi Arabia's Gulf coast as an Aramco-operated helicopter crashed in Ras Tanura.
This is west of the Strait of Hormuz, killing all 14 on board. This accident happened, and the deadly accident came as oil-rich Gulf nations seek to ramp up their output following Iranian attacks and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which is a vital waterway for the export of oil and gas.
According to a Saudi news agency, the cause of the crash is unknown. However, Saudi Arabia did not indicate the incident is in any way connected to a hostile attack, especially amid the West Asia war. Iranian attacks had targeted energy facilities in the Gulf.
The incident reportedly took place at around 6 a.m. local time on Sunday. Aramco is yet to release an official statement about the incident. It operates more than 60 aircraft, including helicopters, serving more than 300 heliports in Saudi Arabia, making it one of the largest corporate fleets in the region. Investigations have now been launched into the matter.
Well, the incident comes as Aramco continues to grapple with turbulence in global energy markets amid the Iran conflict. In recent weeks, the company has shifted part of its oil exports to its pipeline network, and this was a move designed to lessen its dependence on the Strait of Hormuz.
The site of the mishap, Ras Tanura, is home to one of the largest refineries in West Asia, with a capacity of 550,000 barrels per day, and is critical to Saudi Arabia's energy sector. The refinery has been targeted several times, and notably during an Iranian drone attack at the beginning of the conflict, which caused a fire and forced a partial shutdown. All right, next up, let's take a look at some powerful images from across the world that have been drawing our attention. Well, it's time for a very short break on World DNA. Lots lined up on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Just a reminder to our viewers in India, you can watch all 2026 FIFA World Cup matches on Z5. Tune in and catch all the action.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION The World is One.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. international war crimes, and millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Crime is your front row seat to darkness. Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is one.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.
In this rapidly changing world, is your health keeping pace? Best practices and breakthroughs, busting the hype with real insights. The timeless power of yoga and ancient healing. Good food, good mood. Small steps, big impact. Your health matters. Only on WION World is One. Because nothing matters more.
Welcome back. You're watching World DNA with Jyotsna. I'm Shivan. Lots more to discuss. Let's start with the headlines.
Iran's foreign minister says that Iran is solely responsible for managing Strait of Hormuz and warns that any attempt to bypass its preferred shipping route could escalate tensions, urges outside parties not to interfere amid regional maritime disputes.
Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri rejects trilateral framework deal between Lebanon, Israel and the US, calling it a dictated deal that fails to protect Lebanon's rights. Deal links the IDF withdrawal from Lebanon to Hezbollah's disarmament.
Vladimir Putin says he does not believe Europeans have changed Donald Trump's stance on Ukraine. Also notes 2025 Anchorage talks between Russia and US featured no formal agreements, and Russia is ready to continue talks with the US in Moscow.
PM Modi attends Seychelles' 50th Independence Day celebrations as the guest of honor, becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. Indian military contingent and naval ships participate, highlighting strong India-Seychelles ties.
Up magnitude 5.5 earthquake strikes Huashan County in southwest China's Sichuan province, injuring at least 13 people. No deaths reported. Hundreds are relocated. Authorities say relief and medical efforts are underway.
Taliban government spokesman says Pakistani airstrikes in eastern Afghanistan kill or injured dozens of civilians, condemns the strikes that hit Paktia and Kunar provinces as a cowardly act of aggression.
Thousands of Kurds rally in southeastern Turkey demanding the release of imprisoned PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan. Demonstration highlights stalled peace efforts between Turkey and PKK, a decades-long conflict that has killed over 40,000 people.
Japan's retail sales grew for a third straight month, rising 5.3% year-on-year in May, supported by higher wages and government subsidies. The resilient consumer demand offers some support to the economy despite persistent inflation and external trade uncertainties.
Iranian team will return home today after being eliminated from FIFA World Cup at the group stage. They finished third in Group G with 3 points and missed out on the last 32 due to goal difference despite draws against New Zealand, Belgium and Egypt. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the National Day celebrations marking the 50th anniversary of independence of Seychelles.
PM Modi, who is on a 3-day visit to the Indian Ocean nation, became the first Indian Prime Minister to attend the celebrations as the guest of honour. Underlining the close and special India-Seychelles partnership, an Indian marching contingent comprising of the Navy and Army teams participated in this parade. An Indian naval band also formed part of the Indian marching unit, and in a special gesture, INS Tarkash and INS Ikshak were docked at Port Victoria, highlighting India's long-standing friendship with Seychelles.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with Seychelles President Patrick Hermini. The talks covered the full spectrum of bilateral relations, with the leaders agreeing to strengthen cooperation across health, education, renewable energy, maritime security and defense. India also announced a special economic package to support the development priorities of Seychelles and to further deepen the close and enduring partnership between the two countries.
The Prime Minister also became the first Indian PM to address Seychelles National Assembly. In a 24-minute-long speech, PM Modi delivered a message of maritime security and economic prosperity. He also vowed to make Indian Ocean an ocean of opportunity.
This vision recognizes that our futures are interconnected and interdependent. And we will continue to work together for a safer and more secure Indian Ocean region.
The Indian Prime Minister was also conferred with the Guardian of the Blue Horizon, which is Seychelles' highest honour. It recognises outstanding leadership in environmental conservation, sustainable development and the advancement of the blue economy.
Seychelles is a tiny Indian Ocean country, but its location and expanse makes it one of India's most important partners in the Indian Ocean region. Its unique geography places Seychelles near some of the world's busiest sea lines.
And just 2 days before the crucial hearing of the dowry death case of Twisha Sharma, an alleged burglary was reported at her matrimonial home in Bhopal.
Now, the house belongs to Twisha Sharma's mother-in-law, Giripala Singh, and husband Samarth Singh, both of whom remain in police custody and which is scheduled to end on 30th of June. Twisha Sharma was found hanging in the same house on 12th of May.
According to the police, 3 masked intruders entered the house through the rear entrance. They then used a spiral staircase to reach the first floor and allegedly broke into the rooms of Giripala Singh and the couple.
घर वालों द्वारा कंप्लेंट कराई गई है कि The family has filed a complaint alleging a theft occurred in their home last night between June 27 and 28 and that the thieves likely entered through the upper floor door and the boundary wall. A police team arrived in connection with the incident and the forensic team has also conducted an inspection.
Police are now probing the motive behind the alleged break-in and whether it has any connection to the ongoing investigation. Well, after months of relative calm, the Pakistan-Afghanistan border has flared up once again.
In the latest, Pakistan says that it carried out ground operations and airstrikes along the border with Afghanistan, killing at least 29 militants. According to Pakistan Information Minister Ataullah Tarar, the operation was launched in response to multiple militant attacks across the country. The strikes come just a day after 3 Pakistani Rangers were killed in an attack in Karachi, a splinter group of the TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which had claimed responsibility for this attack.
Now, according to Tarar, Pakistan carried out airstrikes in the Paktika and Kunar regions along the Pak-Afghan border. Now, a spokesperson of the Taliban government in Afghanistan has accused Pakistan of targeting civilian areas along the border, resulting in the deaths and injuries of dozens, including women and children.
In recent years, Pakistan has witnessed a surge in attacks, mostly targeting police and security forces. Authorities have blamed the Pakistani Taliban, known as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), and have accused Afghanistan of providing a safe haven to TTP. But Kabul denies these allegations. All right, next up, let's take a look at stories in and coming in from India at this hour. India's Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah has launched the pilot project of the PM Family Care Tracker and Health Passport in Gandhinagar. Speaking at the launch, Shah said 2014 marked the beginning of a new phase of welfare governance under Prime Minister Modi's transparent administration. He described the period as a major turning point in India's development journey, saying future histories of the country's first century after independence would be divided into before and after 2014.
In Delhi, a fire broke out early Monday morning on the ground floor of a residential building in Keshavpuram. According to the Delhi Fire Service, the blaze originated from an electric meter panel. Multiple fire tenders were rushed to the spot. After an emergency call was received, firefighters managed to rescue 3 people who were trapped on the building's terrace before bringing the flames under control. Officials confirmed that no injuries or casualties were reported. The cause of the fire is now under investigation.
In Delhi, a search and rescue operation is underway for a man who jumped off a bridge on the river Yamuna. According to reports, the incident had taken place last night. Authorities say that the incident occurred near the Delhi-Noida direct flyway. Rescue teams were immediately deployed to the site and operations continued through the night. Officials have not yet confirmed the identity of the man and efforts remain focused on locating him in the river.
The Indian state of Odisha, thousands of devotees gathered in the holy town of Puri to witness the traditional Snana Yatra of Lord Jagannath and Goddess Subhadra. The ritual bathing ceremony is performed on the full moon day and is an important religious event at the Sri Jagannath temple, attracting large numbers of pilgrims from across the country. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan also visited the temple, where he offered prayers and sought blessings during the occasion. The festival is considered a key part of the annual rituals associated with the deities, drawing strong spiritual participation from devotees. The artificial intelligence boom is reshaping the global semiconductor industry, but it's also creating an unexpected supply crisis.
With memory prices soaring, electronics manufacturers facing higher costs, and industry leaders warning that supply constraints could last for years, the AI race is beginning to have real-world consequences across the broader technology ecosystem. Here's more in this next report. Take a look. The artificial intelligence boom is creating an unexpected shortage in one of the industry's most critical components: memory chips. Explosive demand for high bandwidth memory, or HBM, used in AI accelerators and data centers has forced chip makers to divert production away from conventional memory used in smartphones, PCs, and networking equipment. As a result, prices have surged by as much as 80 to 90% in a single quarter, while some buyers are reportedly paying 2 to 3 times the standard price to secure supply. Industry estimates suggest AI-focused HBM will account for nearly a quarter of global wafer production next year. The supply squeeze is now spreading across the broader technology industry. Rising memory costs are increasing the manufacturing cost of consumer electronics, enterprise servers, and telecom equipment. Smartphone memory prices have reportedly tripled over the past 9 months, while memory used in broadband equipment has risen nearly sevenfold. AI PCs, which require larger memory capacities, are becoming more expensive to build, while server makers and cloud providers are facing longer delivery timelines and higher procurement costs. Smaller hardware companies are among the worst affected, with some delaying product launches, reducing memory specifications, or raising prices to protect already thin margins. While the shortage is hurting electronics manufacturers, it is proving highly profitable for memory producers and AI chip companies. Memory makers such as Micron, Samsung, and HK Hynix are prioritizing high-margin HBM production, while Nvidia's AI processors continue to drive record demand for advanced memory. Micron recently reported a sharp jump in revenue, margins, and average selling prices as the market tightened. However, expanding manufacturing capacity will take years, and industry executives believe supply is likely to remain constrained until at least 2027 or 2028. Until then, higher memory prices and tighter availability are expected to remain a defining feature of the global AI investment cycle. Business Bureau, WION, World is One. The octopus is one of nature's most remarkable creatures. Its arms can grip, sense, and even adapt to almost any environment.
And well, now researchers are taking inspiration from those natural abilities to develop a new generation of robotic arms. And the technology could help machines work more effectively in complex real-world conditions. Take a look at this report for more.
When engineers want to build better robots, they often look at nature for inspiration. This time, the teacher is an octopus. Researchers in Italy have developed a robotic arm inspired by the sea creature's remarkable ability to feel, explore, and grasp objects. Unlike conventional robotic arms, which often rely on rigid joints and grippers, this prototype is soft, flexible, and covered in artificial suction cups. And just like an octopus, it can use its sense of touch to understand the world around it. Octopuses have long fascinated robotic researchers. Their arms contain no bones, allowing them to bend, twist, and wrap themselves around objects in ways that most machines cannot. Their suckers do more than just grip, they also help the animals sense their environment. Researchers at the Italian Institute of Technology in Genoa wanted to recreate that ability, so they developed a soft robotic arm fitted with sensor-equipped suction cups, designed to explore and interact with its surroundings through touch. Each suction cup contains miniaturized optoelectric sensors. When the cup touches an object, its shape changes slightly. That change affects how light from tiny internal LEDs is reflected back to the sensors. By analyzing those signals, the system can determine where contact has occurred. how strong it is, and even the direction of the force. In effect, the robot is able to feel what it is touching. That ability could be particularly useful in environments where traditional robots struggle, underwater operations, crowded industrial settings, or areas filled with fragile objects. The system also has a modular design, allowing researchers to change the number and position of suction cups depending on the task. The project is part of a growing field known as bio-inspired robotics, where engineers look at millions of years of evolution for design ideas. And the technology may not stop with underwater machines. Researchers believe octopus-like suction systems could one day be incorporated into humanoid robots, helping them handle objects more effectively, especially in wet or challenging conditions.
Now, artificial intelligence turned a university campus into a breathtaking canvas of light.
And this as China Southeast University celebrated its class of 2026. Take a look. Alright, next up, let's take a look at how Hollywood movies have performed this weekend. Starting with the summer superhero reboot, which has experienced a relatively soft start at the global box office. The Millie Alcock starrer has grossed roughly the worldwide collection for the movie, which stands at approximately $68 million during its opening weekend.
Then the beloved animated franchise continues its dominance in theaters. The highly anticipated fifth installment set records by the end of the second week. Its worldwide running total had surged past the $585 million mark. The $250 million production is well on its way to crossing the billion-dollar threshold. And if it happens, it will become the second animated film to cross the coveted mark this year after the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Curry Barker's film Obsession has become a monumental success story for independent psychological horror. The movie, which was made on a budget of $1 million, has surpassed an astonishing $334 million worldwide.
And directed by Kane Parsons, Backrooms, which was made on a reported budget of just $10 million, has grossed over massive at $262.3 million at the worldwide box office, cementing its place right alongside Obsession as one of the most commercially successful indie releases of the summer.
Steven Spielberg's return to the sci-fi thriller genre, Disclosure Day, enjoyed the strongest opening for an original feature. Starring Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, the film debuted to an impressive $93 million worldwide. The movie has grossed roughly $193 million globally so far.
Antoine Fuqua's Michael Jackson biopic starring Jafar Jackson continues its historic theatrical run. The film has amassed a massive $977.4 million at the worldwide box office. The feature has officially become the highest-grossing biographical film in cinematic history and is now within striking distance of the elite billion-dollar milestone. Now, Canada have made history at the FIFA World Cup. A dramatic stoppage time strike from Stephen Eustáquio secured a 1-0 victory over South Africa.
and that sent the co-hosts into the round of 16 for the first time ever. The match looked destined for extra time before a late breakthrough sparked wild celebrations. Canada's World Cup dream is alive and it is kicking. Stephen Wastakio emerged as the hero in Los Angeles, scoring in stoppage time to hand Canada a dramatic 1-0 win over South Africa in their first ever knockout stage appearance. The co-hosts dominated possession and created several chances throughout the match, but were repeatedly denied by South African goalkeeper Ronwen Williams and a resilient defence. Derek Cornelius missed a golden opportunity in the first half, while Bombito and Tahon Buchanan were both denied in a frantic spell before the break.
South Africa threatened occasionally on the counter, but Canada's pressure continued to build as the game entered its closing stages. The biggest roar of the night came in the 75th minute when star fullback Alphonso Davies made his long-awaited World Cup debut after recovering from a hamstring injury. Davies immediately injected pace and creativity, helping Canada push for a winner. And that breakthrough finally arrived in the second minute of stoppage time.
Jacob Schaffelberg's cross was cleared only as far as Wastakio, who controlled the ball with his chest before firing a superb first-time strike into the bottom corner. The goal sparked jubilant celebrations as Canada's bench emptied onto the pitch to mark a historic victory. Coach Jesse Marsh praised his side's character and belief after they finally found a way through.
Canada now advanced to the round of 16, where they will face either the Netherlands or Morocco in Houston on 4th of July. For South Africa, the defeat ends a memorable tournament run despite reaching the knockout stage for the first time in their history.
Alright, and here's a reminder to our viewers in India, you can watch all the 2026 FIFA World Cup matches on Z5. Tune in, catch all the action live.
All right, with that, we call a wrap to World In for today. News and updates will follow on the other side of a very short break. And before we go, let's take a look at the top climate stories making headlines from across the world. Stay tuned.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at WION.com.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION The World is One.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Prime Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
Vielleicht nur als Impostant.
Staying with us, you're watching WION The World is One. I'm Adya Juneja and this is Speed News. Let's start with all the stories making headlines today. Israeli strikes hit southern Lebanon despite a US brokered framework aimed at reducing border tensions, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz said Israel destroyed a Hezbollah tunnel network in southern Lebanon, describing the site as a 25-meter deep underground facility stretching more than 200 meters and containing weapons and launch shafts.